Breaking news! The week started off hot behind the scenes at the Detroit Lions, and I need to address some important points for you today. We know that Brad Holmes is working day and night to prepare a qualified team, stronger than last season's, because if the Lions really want to compete in Super Bowl 60, they will need to work hard. And Dan Campbell has already shown himself motivated to go further than he has so far. A specific player could return to the Lions at any time, and that's what we're going to talk about. But before I tell you all the details, make sure you've already hit the like button. But only do that if you've been a Detroit Lions fan for over 25 years. It's great to see fans of all ages. If you want, comment like this: "Go Lions! My heart bleeds blue." Just thinking about the games this season makes me miss feeling that excitement. But until that happens, let's talk about what's happening right now. Let's get right to the point. The Detroit Lions released their best edge rusher from last season, Za'Darius Smith, after trading him and watching him outperform everyone else on the defensive line in just a few games. The Lions were in a bind when their top rusher went down, and Smith stepped in with a veteran presence, consistency, and power. He didn't just hold the line together, he elevated it. The result? More sacks than any other player on the team, despite playing in a limited role and not having a bye week. Now, SI.com reports the Buffalo Bills could be in play for Smith, a nightmare scenario for Detroit fans. But here's the kicker: the Bills only have around $2 million in cap space. Unless they make serious financial gymnastics, restructuring deals, cutting players, they're not realistically positioned to offer Smith the type of contract he deserves. And we already know Smith turned down Detroit's previous offer, which surely was better than any veteran minimum the Bills might offer. Meanwhile, Detroit is sitting on a war chest, $40 million in cap space. That's fourth in the NFL. Most of the rookie contracts are already taken care of, so this is clean money. And yet, they've prioritized signing Marcus Davenport, a player with a consistent injury history who hasn't played a full season in his career. This decision is drawing understandable criticism. Davenport, for all his potential, is a gamble. Smith, he's proven. He's healthy. He fits. From a fan's perspective, this isn't just about stats, it's about the message. You had a Pro Bowl caliber edge rusher who wanted to stay, and word on the street is, he still wants to be here. A trusted insider confirmed it. Smith is open to returning, but the money has to be right. That's the only barrier. This isn't speculation anymore. It's a matter of respect and value. You can't bring in a guy like Smith, watch him excel, then cut him over finances and replace him with someone less reliable. That's not how championship teams are built. And let's not forget, Smith wasn't just another player. He was brought in as a high-impact solution during a moment of crisis. He delivered, big time. Then he was let go. That's the kind of move that stings in the locker room and sows doubt among veterans who are watching how the team treats its most productive players. You want to build a winning culture? It starts with rewarding those who deliver, especially when they do so under pressure. Brad Holmes has done a lot of things right, but this situation could turn into a serious blemish if it's not addressed. Holmes himself admitted that Smith was the best of the affordable options at the time of the trade, which only further proves how valuable the acquisition was. But to cut him after all he gave, while retaining someone with less production and more injury baggage, is a decision that fans and players alike are questioning. And don't even get us started on the timing. June 1st just passed, which is a key date in the NFL calendar. Many teams, including the Lions, were likely waiting until now to make post-June 1st cuts or deals that could maximize cap relief. So the window is wide open. Everything about the Lions' current financial and roster situation points to one logical move: bring Smith back. It's not just about pass rushing ability either. It's about leadership, reliability, and fit. He already knows the scheme. He already has chemistry. He already proved he can elevate the defense when the chips are down. So why are we hesitating? So here's the million-dollar question for all of you. Should the Lions make Smith a priority again, even if it means revisiting a deal that didn't work the first time? Should respect and proven performance outweigh past disagreements and pride? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe bringing Za'Darius Smith back is the missing piece for a Super Bowl run? Or do you think the Lions should stay the course with Davenport and others? Let's pick up right where we left off, because this situation with Za'Darius Smith is far from over, and the implications for the Detroit Lions 2025 season couldn't be more significant. Let's talk legacy for a moment. This isn't just a roster decision, it's about the kind of team the Lions are building under Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. When a player like Smith comes in mid-season, produces at a high level, and then gets cut due to cost concerns, what message does that send to future free agents? That even if you perform better than expected, even if you carry the defense when it's needed most, your value can still be undercut? Now, compare that to teams who reward players that go above and beyond. Championship franchises find a way to keep their core contributors, especially ones who've proven their worth under pressure. And here's the irony, the Lions aren't even in cap trouble. They're not operating on a tight budget. With $40 million in cap space, they could have made this right already. And maybe that's what's most frustrating for fans. The resources are there. The need is there. The desire from the player is there. Yet, nothing's happened. Smith had 10 sacks split between Cleveland and Detroit last season, and that's despite the fact he had no bye week after being traded. He came in, contributed instantly, and was a big part of why the Lions even made it deep into the playoffs. And now the front office seems to be betting on a guy like Davenport, whose injury history makes every snap a question mark. That's a huge gamble when you're supposedly building toward a Super Bowl. Brad Holmes has been praised for his smart drafting and calculated free agent moves. But this situation isn't about the draft. It's about whether the Lions are truly ready to compete with the NFL's elite, because the elite teams don't hesitate to bring back proven veterans who want to be there and who still have something left in the tank. Let's not forget the intangibles either. Smith isn't just a good player, he's a leader. His presence in the locker room, his ability to read offenses, to fire up teammates, that's not something easily replaced. And certainly not by a player who's still unproven in a Lions jersey. Leadership matters in a postseason run. Experience matters when you're facing top-tier quarterbacks and playing in high-pressure games. Smith brings all of that. And from a fan's perspective, this whole thing just doesn't sit right. The analogy that hit hardest in that now viral video? Letting go of Smith is like throwing out a hot, fresh, seasoned meal just to go digging in the trash. That's not hyperbole. That's how it feels to watch the team part ways with a player who did everything right. Smith's desire to return, confirmed by sources close to the situation, isn't something the Lions should ignore. Players of his caliber don't just want to be in Detroit unless they believe in the direction of the franchise. And clearly, he does. So why aren't we seeing the same energy from the front office? Sure, there's speculation about the Lions planning to extend Hutchinson, and that's a good thing. Locking up Hutch is a smart long-term move, but that shouldn't come at the expense of short-term success. There's enough money in the budget to do both, and Holmes has a known knack for restructuring contracts and creating cap space when needed. There's simply no excuse not to get this done. It all comes down to priorities. Are we going all in for 2025 or playing it safe? Because if you truly believe this team is ready for a Super Bowl run, you don't leave a pass rushing spot to chance. You bring in someone proven. You bring back the guy who's already done it for you. At this point, we're just waiting to see if Holmes will reverse course, if Smith will get the offer he deserves, and if the Lions will choose production and leadership over pride and stubbornness. And here's one more thing to consider. What happens if Davenport goes down again? Are we really prepared to enter the season without a reliable veteran presence on the edge? That's not just risky, it's reckless. With Smith available and willing, ignoring him could be the move that haunts us come playoff time. So Lions fans, is this a mistake we can afford to make? Fans, I need to hear from you. Should Brad Holmes pick up the phone and bring Zadarius Smith back? Or has that ship sailed? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the videos on screen for more in-depth Lions analysis. Go Lions!